Hi guys, I'm Nate from Recap Now. Today, I'm going to recap a 2007 horror comedy and fantasy movie called Hellphone. When a young boy gets a magical phone that can hypnotize anyone. So he decided to seduce a beautiful student he's in love with, but unfortunately the phone starts making decisions itself that causes so many consequences. Let's find out. After school, Sid admires his crush, Angie. Sid's best buddy, Pierre, popularly known as Tiger, encourages him to make a move, but he hesitates. As he watches Angie walk away with her friends, Margot and Clemence, Sid understands she is the girl of his dreams. He attempts to impress Angie with his skateboarding tricks, but falls into a garbage can. Angie checks on him, and Sid stammers as he looks at her. Knowing Angie is new to the area, Sid offers to show her around. Across the street, Franklin and David volunteer to handle Sid, who is making a play on the girl Virgil likes. However, Virgil declines since he is not threatened by Sid. Angie accepts Sid's offer and requests his phone number. However, Sid does not have a cell phone, so Tiger steps in and claims that Sid got rid of it because of an ex-girlfriend. Virgil cranks his car, suggesting that they are leaving, and Angie departs with her pals. Sid arrives home and discovers that the door is open. Worried, he looks for his mother and discovers his neighbor's child on the kitchen floor with a knife next to him. Sid, unimpressed, steps over him and takes a drink from the refrigerator. Sid's mother steps in and chastises the child for making a mess in the kitchen. After the child has left, Sid requests early payment for his birthday. His mother gives Sid 30 euros, but wishes he could offer him more. Still, she kisses him frequently, proud of her son's development. Sid rushes through a crowded diner because he is late for work, citing schoolwork as an excuse. Fritz, his boss, tells him that he's only there to cook chicken, which doesn't require a PhD. Sid awkwardly requests his paycheck in advance, so Fritz hands him a 100 euro bill. Sid was surprised and thanked him, only to realize that it was a forgery. Desperate, Sid goes to an antique store the next day to buy a cheap phone. Since Sid barely has 30 euros, the odd vendor offers him ancient telephones. Sid requests something cooler, so the salesman offers him an old phone, claiming it's the one Michael Douglas used in the film Wall Street. The merchant then recalls a phone from the back room and pulls out a curious bottle that emits mist when opened. The inside contains a bright red smartphone with small horns. Sid quickly pays up, but the salesman discloses that the phone does not work. Sid demands his money back, but the phone suddenly lights up and captures a snapshot of his stunned expression. The seller has never seen it switch on and attempts to reclaim it, but Sid flees. At school, Clemence tells her pals that she passed her audition for a hair brand. Suddenly, Sid approaches Angie and shows her his new phone. Clemence immediately mocks it, and the phone captures her photo without anyone's knowledge. Sid ignores the insults and invites Angie to phone him if she wants to hang out. However, the other girls roll their eyes, and Angie assures Sid that she will think about it. During chemistry class, Franklin and David mock Tiger's mother, who was an adult model. Sid defends his friend, but Ms. Ronson, the science teacher, arrives and assigns them detention for the weekend. During the class, Sid's cell phone inexplicably contacts Margot. After answering the phone, Margot ignites a Bunsen burner and points it toward Clemence's hair. Angie screams, seeing Clemence's hair on fire. Unaware of what is going on, Clemence complains that the lab is too hot until another classmate wraps her up and Ronson extinguishes her hair. At the principal's office, Margot claims she has no memory of what transpired other than receiving an anonymous phone call. Despite the traumatized teen in front of him, the school principal, Mr. Tamilet, simply talks to his fish and dismisses Margot without penalty. After school, Sid and Tiger go to their usual skate shop, but the proprietor has retired and has been replaced by Hervé. A woman passes past, drawing the two boys' attention. Hervé swiftly blocks their view, reprimanding them for gazing at his wife. Changing the subject, Sid mentions that the store's prices have virtually doubled, but Hervé mocks the kids, particularly Tiger, for being a redhead, and they depart. Sid rehearses his lines to woo Angie at home, unknowing that his phone has contacted her and she is listening. When she replies hello, Sid stammers and claims he was rehearsing for theatrical lessons before hanging up. Wondering how he phoned Angie, He looks through his outgoing calls and notices that he recently called Margot. The next day, Margot texts Clemence to apologize, but Clemence does not forgive her. Sid tells Tiger that his phone called Margot and Angie on its own, but Tiger believes he accidentally called them. Sid's math instructor, Mr. Mazot, throws chalk at him for not paying attention in class. He then asks Sid to answer the math problem. Sid is bewildered until the answer appears on his cell phone screen, which Tiger also observes. Mazot accuses Sid of using a calculator and confiscates his cell phone, which he tosses out the window. When class finishes, Sid hurries to recover his phone, which he discovers unharmed. Both he and Tiger wonder how the cell phone knew the answer so quickly. That evening, Mazot checks paperwork until he receives an unknown phone call, which sends him into a trance. The next morning, Sid awakens to find his cell phone projecting a holographic birthday message. On their way to school for detention, Sid tells Tiger about his cell phone welcoming him despite the fact that he did not enter his birth date. Tiger suspects there is a problem and requests that Sid resolve it. Sid argues that he needs the cell phone because it is useful, but Tiger claims that it is precisely why he is terrified. Tiger nervously wishes for the phone to save them from detention in order to demonstrate its harmless nature. Suddenly, the principal's assistant is heard on the phone addressing Sid as Tamalet. Sid is a Mazid and uses this to cancel their detention and modify the cafeteria menu to a McDonald's menu. Sid and Tiger roam around in delight after discovering that the phone fulfills wishes. Sid stumbles onto a travel club and asks his cell phone, now known as Hellphone, to arrange a trip. Mazot was spotted vomiting chalk at school. Later, Sid and Tiger use the Hellphone to seduce Hervé into performing animal impressions and offering them free goods. The two boys then go to a bar to have a wonderful time, hypnotizing Tamalet into swallowing his pet fish. Tiger then begs Sid if he may use the Hellphone to help his estranged parents reconnect. Sid refuses since he needs it, explaining that it selected him. Sid still lets him take it, but the Hellphone turns off when Tiger touches it. Tiger, enraged, drops it into Sid's drink, yet it still works once Sid retrieves it. The next day, Virgil, David, and Franklin erected a billboard depicting Tiger's mother to humiliate him. As Tiger tries to take down the billboard, Angie's iPod is stolen across the street. Sid and Angie go on a skateboard chase to get her iPod, while the three bullies chase the bandits in Virgil's car. Sid and Angie almost get run over, so Sid devises a shortcut to get to the bandits. The bullies are about to reach the bandits when Franklin receives a call, forcing him to lead the car into a crash. This allows Sid and Angie to catch the bandits instead. On the way home, Sid remarks that Angie knows how to skate, but she says she's not very good at it. Sid takes advantage of the opportunity to ask her out after she expresses gratitude to him for his assistance. However, Angie declines since she needs to prepare for their history exam. The next day, Tiger insists that Sid dispose of the phone because Virgil was hurt in the incident. Sid refuses because no one has died, and he needs it to help Angie with her exam. He contacts their history teacher, Mr. Fook, to inquire about the exam topics and seek something special. Soon after, Virgil and his companions confront Sid and Tiger. They threaten to move Sid away from Angie, and Franklin hits him. Virgil suddenly receives a call, but Sid pushes the phone away, saving him from being captivated. This enrages Virgil, but Clemence enters, revealing that Sid promised Angie to get the history exam subjects. Given this, the guys back down because the two had proven useful. During the exam, the pupils snigger at Fouquet as he walks around wearing a ludicrous attire and purple hair. After that, the pupils celebrate with a McDonald's lunch. Angie, who has a new hairstyle, wonders why Virgil isn't appreciative that Sid assisted them with their history exam. Virgil insists that thanks is for the impoverished, which irritates Angie. As Sid walks by, Angie thanks him and invites him to sit with them. Tension increases, and Sid mocks Virgil by asking if he wants his dinner sliced for him. In retribution, Virgil confesses to Angie that Sid's father abandoned him and his mother for another man. Sid leaves, furious, and orders his Hellphone to call Virgil. After taking the call, Virgil begins dancing on the tables. He dedicates his performance to Angie before introducing himself to the entire cafeteria. His companions attempt to stop him, but Virgil entices Franklin into a kiss. Unimpressed, Angie rushes out, and Sid follows. He observes her take off her wig, which she wore for Clemence's sake. He calms her, and Angie invites Sid out on a date, which he enthusiastically agrees. Tiger interrupts Sid's preparations for his date. He doesn't understand why Sid is dressed in a suit when they're going to go to an AC/DC concert tonight. Sid has forgotten and decides to go out with Angie instead. Tiger is upset since he went to great pains to obtain the tickets. As Sid walks out, he discovers his mother reading a letter. She tells that she won a lavish trip to Cuba, and Sid feigns ignorance, claiming that he planned it for her previously. Sid's neighbor gets his suit dirty by accident, which irritates him. His mother calls him out to see whether Fritz is okay with his absence from work. Sid is furious and curses at his boss, which the Hellphone hears. Fritz answers the phone at Fritz's eatery before covering his head with chicken breading. He then dunks his head into the deep fryer, terrifying everyone. Sid arrives to Angie's luxurious home. While admiring a famous skateboarder's memorabilia, Angie appears, and he is instantly charmed by her. He shows out the memorabilia and learns that the famous skateboarder is Angie's father. Angie's mother, an artist, observes Sid's lovely teeth and inquires, much to his chagrin. Angie, embarrassed, leaves with Sid, who takes her for a trip in a luxury car. Meanwhile, Virgil and his pals recollect the crash and the cafeteria dance, which occurred after he and Franklin received a suspicious phone call. Franklin recalls how Margot blamed her for burning Clemence's hair during a phone chat. When Virgil and his pals see Sid and Angie driving by, they learn Sid is driving Virgil's father's automobile. Sid tries to confess to Angie about his Hellphone at the movie theater, but then realizes he left it in the car. As he searches for it outside, Virgil and his buddies confront Sid, accusing him of stealing the automobile. They beat him up and drive away in the automobile. Sid returns to the theater, and Angie assists in tending to his wound. He then explains that he took the car from Virgil's father to impress her because he is not wealthy. However, Angie is unconcerned and mocks him for wearing a suit. Sid admits he is uncomfortable with it, so he removes his jacket. Angie follows and removes her heels, which are also uncomfortable. The two eventually relax together, but Sid is concerned about losing his phone. Angie tells him they'll get it back and goes in for a kiss, but the movie interrupts them. Meanwhile, Virgil and his friends are on a joyride when Sid's phone rings. Franklin responds and abruptly jumps off the moving automobile. He survives and starts a cigarette to calm himself, but a truck carrying cigarettes runs him over. Following the film, the police apprehend Angie and Sid. At the station, Virgil and David accuse Sid of hypnotizing people with his phone, prompting Franklin to jump out of the car. The officers take them away to speak with Sid and Angie. The chief shows Sid the Hellphone and questions him about Franklin and Virgil's father's automobile. Suddenly, Angie discovers the Hellphone ringing the chief, who smiles as he answers. He hangs up, destroys the police report, returns Sid's phone, and releases the two. As he walks out, Sid overhears officers discussing Fritz deep-frying his. This finally makes him realize that his Hellphone is dangerous, so he abandons Angie and flees. Sid asks the phone why it is hurting people, and the Hellphone responds that it adores Sid. He runs to Tiger's house for assistance, but Tiger's mother stops him while wearing revealing apparel. Hypnotized by the phone, she tackles him to the couch, and Sid begins to enjoy himself until Tiger catches them. Tiger, enraged, hits Sid before fleeing. Sid then attempts to destroy the Hellphone on his own, but fails. Desperate, he enters the catacombs and drops the phone into a pit. The following day, Margot, Clemence, Virgile, and David meet at Angie's house to talk about how Sid and his cell phone are producing disastrous occurrences. Angie defends Sid, claiming she was with him last night, but reveals that the phone called the chief on its own to free them. Meanwhile, a gang of miners awaken Sid and return the Hellphone to the location where he dropped it. After they go, Tiger comes and the pals reconcile, deciding to face the Hellphone together. The Hellphone immediately phones Sid, so he gives Tiger a cactus to knock him out in case he becomes captivated. Sid answers the phone, and the phone declares Angie as its target, believing she is the impediment between them. At Angie's house, the phone rings. Despite everyone's hesitation, Clemence responds. She begins stuttering, so Virgil and David confront her. However, she is merely joking because Angie's mother is on the line, requesting that Angie turn off the stove where she had left a boiling pot of resin. Suddenly, Margot's mother contacts her. She answers the phone and delivers it to Virgil, claiming her mother needs to speak with him. Margot then grabs kitchen knives and violently stabs her. Unsatisfied, she grabs more knives and a toothpick to stab her while the others scream. Virgil then takes the boiling resin and slaps it on Clemence's face. David takes out Virgil, but Margot's phone rings again. Angie's dog takes it and then comes out to maul David. Sid and Tiger race to Angie's house upon hearing her scream. Angie resists her mother until they knock her out with skateboards. Angie laments that the others have died, so they go to Angie's mother's workshop and use the hydraulic press to destroy the Hellphone. A mad Virgil attacks them as they travel. Sid interacts with him, as Tiger and Angie try to break the phone. As Tiger and Angie figure out her mother's hydraulic press passcode, Virgil chases Sid with an electric knife before stabbing. Nevertheless, Virgil pulls a chainsaw and attacks Sid. As they battle with the passcode, Sid proposes using Angie's name, which, predictably, works. The press crushes the phone, but Virgil's chainsaw strikes the machine, electrocuting himself. When he collapses, they discover the phone crushed into a cube. However, it gradually heals, and Sid grabs it. He brings his friends to school, where they disrupt the chemistry class. Ronson attempts to kick them out, but they ask for assistance in destroying the phone. However, the phone eventually recovers and contacts everyone. Angie knocks out the first person to answer the phone, then threatens the others. Suddenly, Tamilet enters and pushes his phone on Ronson's ear, hypnotizing her. Angie knocks him out, but Ronson swallows a toxin that kills her, scaring the students away. Thousands of other students, however, rush to kill them. Tiger is apprehended while fleeing, while Sid and Angie seek refuge in the laboratory. Sid, thinking it's the end, declares his love for Angie and moves in to kiss her. However, Angie notices that his hands are cold, which gives Sid an idea. He removes a liquid nitrogen tank from the laboratory just as the students push the window open. Angie drops the phone into the tank, but Tamilet grabs it, freezing his hand in the process. The students rush in and fight for the phone. However, Tiger arrives and retrieves the phone, so Sid throws the nitrogen tank at him. Before Tiger can put it inside, a student uses his phone to mesmerize him. Despite this, Tiger drops the phone into the nitrogen tank. The others try to reach him, but it's too late, and the phone freezes. Everyone comes to a halt, perplexed by what just occurred. Sid and Angie find Tiger, who discloses that he is wearing earplugs to prevent himself from being hypnotized. As Sid hugs his best friend, Angie tells him she loves him. The trio soon boarded a ferry and traveled to the deepest area of the ocean. Sid hesitates before dropping the Hellphone, so the two torment him like Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. Sid laughs and throws the nitrogen tank containing the Hellphone overboard, ensuring it never calls anyone again. Finally, Sid and Angie share their first kiss, and Tiger awkwardly departs to give them room. Please do hit that like button if you enjoyed the recap. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell for more movie recaps. Stay tuned for our next cinematic adventure, and until then, happy watching.